what are things that men will perceive as red flags in relationships?
Okay, so for me, one of the biggest red flags is if you are in a relationship and you have never seen the lady without makeup. Okay. If if you have never seen the lady without makeup, that is a problem because you never know what you will see underneath once that makeup comes off.
It could be
It may,
scary.
yeah, you may have to run. So that's one of the big ones for me.
That's very interesting. Brother Andy, what's your take?
I think this is the first time I'm hearing that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You don't want any surprises.
No
No,
surprises, like,
no
okay.
surprises. Yeah.
Hey, party people, welcome again to Tapestry. If this is your first time tuning in, you are warmly welcome. We are back again with another episode. Make sure you're tuning in, you're subscribing to our channel, you're liking, and also you are sharing the video as well. So today we are back again with another episode. It's going to be very interesting. If you haven't watched our previous episode, make sure you go back and take a look at that. We talked about red flags in relationship, and the ladies had a lot to share. So today we have the men in the studios to also share, their thoughts on the topic. My name is Antoinette, and I am your host. So today we have our handsome gentlemen, our brother Fifi, Andy, and David. Welcome, guys, to Tapestry.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
So I want to start with you, Fifi. What are generally, right? What are red flags? What are things that men will perceive as red flags in relationships?
Okay, so for me, one of the biggest red flags is if you are in a relationship and you have never seen the lady without makeup. Okay. If if you have never seen the lady without makeup, that is a problem because you never know what you will see underneath once that makeup comes off.
It could be
It
scary.
may, yeah, you may have to run. So that's one of the big ones for me.
That's very interesting. Brother Andy, what's your take?
I think this is the first time I'm hearing that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You don't want any surprises.
No surprises, like,
no surprises. Yeah.
So for me, I think it has to do with the people, how you relate with people, how you respond to other stuff. So when it comes to relationship, how you talk to people determines how you're going to talk to me, how you're going to handle stuff
Exactly.
when it comes to me. So that's one big thing that I look at. Okay. And the other thing that I look at is the God factor in the person. So it's not like how many times do you go to church. It's about how the church you go to is having effect on
On
your
your
personal
life.
life, your daily activity and your daily work. These are the two things I look out for.
Okay. What about you, David?
What I look out for is trust, because if I don't trust you or if you doubt me, anything can just splash the relationship. Anything can just come in between us and it will destroy everything. So I will go for trust. I have to be able to trust you to the latter, and you have to be able to trust me so that any wind won't scatter what we've built together or what we've toiled to build together. Yeah.
So talking about trust, what are some of the things or some of the signs that you can tell us, okay, this person is not like trustworthy, or what are some of the things that you will see?
Okay, what I would look out for, one, lies. If you start lying to me, I wouldn't be able to trust you, and if I start lying to you, you wouldn't be
Yeah,
able to
that's a
trust
problem
me.
right there.
Yes. So the problem is right there, and one of the things I would take note of is if you tell me you are here and truly you are not there. For example, I'm in a friend's house, meanwhile you are driving.
It's a question mark.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so talking about coming back to back with you, Brother Fifi.
Mm-hmm.
So generally, what are some of the things that, like, men will consider red flags? I think you guys talked about individual,
Mm-hmm.
things that would turn you off.
Generally, um, a lady who is not respectful to their parents, that is a big red flag. So if you treat your parents um, in a way that is just like, I see it and I see that it's really that bad, I will run the other direction, because you may be nice to me now, but once
Exactly.
things start to get tough, you're going to go back to what you're comfortable with. And that's what you've grown up with. So you've lived with your parents and you treat them that way. If you live with me for a few years, you may end up having to treat me really badly. So that is something that I think
So
it's a big red flag.
So
Especially if you're
respect,
just
yeah.
like, oh, leave, I don't really think about them like that, just throwing them anyhow, just saying whatever you want to them. It's really, really dangerous. Yeah.
Definitely. I think, well, that's key for sure,
Mhm.
because respect is everything,
Mhm.
right? If you don't respect, like, how can you even be with
Mhm.
somebody who does not respect?
Right.
But I feel like, sometimes it's hard to even tell, because people coming into a relationship,
Mhm.
people come in as this perfect
Hmm.
person trying to show off
Yeah.
the best version of themselves, right? How can you even tell?
Um, and I learned this from my dad.
Mm-hmm.
Told me you have to push. You really have to push, 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 for them to get to a point where um, they have to kind of break out of that, where they're kind of acting and playing,
Yeah.
trying to kind of cover things up. You have to push as much as possible. If you have to do something that you're not even comfortable doing as a man, you have to do it just so you can see their reaction. So just push, even though you may not be that way as a person, just to find out what's really underneath. You have to
Underneath.
push to try and get those
Interesting.
things to come and bubble up.
We'll come to the other side of the things that you do to push them. But I want to hear from you, Andy.
Yeah, I think what he just said, respect. So, in order for you to find some of these things, you look at how the person relates to the friends, how he treats the people around them. It will let you know how the person is going to treat you. Sometimes we have friends that we joke with, but everything has a limit, right? So when you see that it's going overboard, then you know, oh, okay, this is going to come back to me. This is how she's going to treat me.
Exactly.
I also look for anger.
Yeah.
It's one thing that brings about everything. Whether the person will disrespect you, it depends on the person's level or at the rate at which they get angry and how they are able to calm themselves down.
Yeah.
This is one big thing that I look for. Because there are people that when they are angry, they say a whole lot of
Oh,
stuff,
yeah.
even to the extent of insulting.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
like
a huge one.
you got to check that one. Sometimes you have to, like you said, push them to get angry. You have to intentionally. You have to do that. Yeah. Sometimes you have to intentionally push them to get angry, to see the limit at which they can go.
So you actually intentionally create, situations
Yes.
where
If you say create, it wouldn't be the trap. You set a trap. So you intentionally set a trap for them, and then they will fall in,
Oh,
and then you
wow.
would know. Because without that, you would never know.
But I have a problem with you setting the trap, though. Like, explain that. What do you mean by trap?
So when I say trap, it means let's say I'm with someone, right? The person tells me I don't like early morning calls, right? I don't want you to call me very early in the morning when I'm not awake. I want to know what will happen if I call you very early in the morning.
Hey,
I will
You
intentionally
want to
call
provoke
you.
the person.
It's not provoke. Because if you are with me, if you want to be with me, you should be able to tolerate me in every level. The very things that you don't want to do for your friends, you should be able to sacrifice and do for me. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So some of these things.
Okay.
And actually, to add on to what he said, once a lady is angry, right? Once a lady is angry, sometimes you have to look at how long it takes for them to come back to normal. Because some people will hold on to that thing
Things,
forever.
yeah.
And that is a big problem, because
Yeah.
I've moved on. I'm not even thinking about
And
it.
you're
But then
still holding on to the
yeah,
same
it comes back. So
arguments.
that's something you have to look for as well. Yeah.
Do you have any other thoughts about it, David?
Oh, it's all about what they've said. I think I would add something to it. about this same anger, you should find what comes out of the anger and the extent to which the person reacts. Because some people, when they are angry, the kind of verbal abuse they will release on you.
Insults.
You don't have to take it lightly that the person will stop. No, the person wouldn't stop. That's it. That's how the person is. So you would just have to withdraw, because if you don't take care, it might destroy you. Because what is said to you goes straight to the soul, and it can really
Yeah.
destroy you. So with ladies, I will talk about verbal abuse. Sometimes the way they can talk to you can destroy
This
everything.
one is, it sounds like you're talking from experience.
Well,
Possibly. Okay, so talking about you, pushing them to kind of come off or unveil whatever thing that they are hiding, right? What are some of the situations where you can, push them to the point where they come clean?
I mean, it's all related to what Brother Andy said about the anger. That is one of the big ones, because once you are pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, and they break, then a lot of things start to fall out. The things that fall out will lead you to certain things that you can follow and follow and follow. It's like setting a trap, right? I mean, the word trap,
the second
trap
time.
again.
Yeah.
You set that trap, whatever happens, then it opens more doors to other things that you may not have even thought of asking. So let me leave that there. I don't.
No, continue. We want to hear it all.
So I won't say from experience, what I've seen is that even with, let's say you are wanting to court with somebody, right?
Yeah.
And you want to see how they are in their home, how, if they're clean or dirty or something like that. What you can do is intentionally, I'll come and visit you, and I'll take my socks off and I'll put it right there and just leave it there and
see
see
how she reacts.
how you will react. Something as simple as that will tell you a lot. Yeah. Or other things, but that is the basic things you can do to kind of see how those things. If she's okay with it, then you're like, oh, maybe she's not as clean as she says that
So
she is.
You're making your judgment based on.
Well, you have to figure out some way, right? And then that will start the conversation. Oh, maybe she'll say, oh, because it's you, I let things go. But
Yeah.
if it was just,
Other people.
yeah.
So what if you put them in that situation and they don't really realize that, okay, like this is what you're trying to do? Will you just make your judgment based on what they did, or will you go further and bring that conversation? Because I feel like sometimes you may not realize that, okay, this person is, trapping me, quote unquote, right? But I think opening up that conversation can also help you, try and figure out.
Yeah, there's a moment of reflection, right? Once you've done it, you should also find a way to have that conversation, like you said, so she knows that, hey, I'm kind of testing you out to see where you are with these things that are important to me. If it's not something important, obviously you don't want to provoke
Right.
those things if it doesn't matter to you.
Okay, I think you wanted to add something.
Yeah, let me add up to what he said. So when it comes to when you test the person and then you set the trap and then you find out, you don't just walk away. When it comes to red flags, there are some that you can work on. There are some you can
You
never
can't.
work on.
Okay.
Do you get what I mean? So you don't just walk away. You have a conversation with the person. Hey, this is what I found out. Some people know they have it, and they will tell you, "Oh, this is my problem, but I'm willing to work on it."
To learn.
You help them, but when you keep trying and then it's still the same thing, nothing is happening, that's when you have to walk away, because the things that you see during the early stages of the relationship, they don't go away. They grow to bigger problems in the marriage,
That's true.
because in a relationship, everybody tries to
To play
hide
it
some
cool,
stuff. They
yeah.
play it cool until you get married. I was telling somebody yesterday that you never really get to know somebody. You can be friends with them for 5 years, 10 years. You will never really get to know them until you guys start a relationship and they feel comfortable and let themselves go. You get it? Yeah, so that's how it works.
So talking about things that, are a big no-no, right? What are some of the things that it may not be what you want, but you can work around it? Can you give examples of things that you can try and work around it in a relationship from the woman's side?
From the woman's side,
Mm-hmm.
I would say cooking is a red flag for me. I
They
like
don't
to
know
eat.
how to cook.
There are most people that don't even know how to cook. But if you meet some people, they are like, oh, I don't know how to cook, but I'm ready to learn. It's something that you can work with. When it comes to anger issue, when the person is ready to work on it, not just by mouth, but they are working on it. It starts from, let's say, the first day that I set the trap, you get angry for 3 days. You don't talk to me.
Serious.
And then after you decide to talk to me, we talk about it. You accept, oh, okay, I went overboard. The next time I'm looking at how long it's going to take for you to.
Exactly.
There are some people, immediately it happens, they sit down for like a couple of hours and they're like, oh, I'm doing it again. No, let me just call this person and let's resolve this issue.
Right.
These are some of the things you can work on. But when they are angry, you tell them and they tell you, this is who I am, love me for who I am. I will run away for who you are.
What about you, Fifi? What are some
So,
things that you can work on?
Like, for example, for me personally, like, I don't like ladies that are always taking pictures. I mean,
Well, this was a personal.
no, this is not a. We are, just letting it go, right? If you are taking a lot of pictures, it means you want attention, and you want to post on social media and those things. But that is something that you can work on, right? Oh man, maybe instead of taking pictures today, I will not, because my friend or whoever I'm courting has an issue with it. That's something that's not a big of an issue, right? So you can kind of let it go. But that's something that is a red flag.
So that's it.
That is a very big red flag.
So, Fifi, is it the posting on the social media or the
Yeah,
taking of
because
the
there's a difference.
I think
there are two different things.
I think it's both. It's both. Because if you have not taken it, then there's no opportunity to post it, right? There's no opportunity to post it. If you are taking it, it means you yourself need to be able to look at it later, and whatever you decide to do with it can be whatever. But I just don't like, I'm turning this direction, I'm turning this direction. It means you're too into yourself. That's what that tells me.
This one,
Anyway.
I have a problem with this one. Because sometimes you can take a picture, right? You may not post it, but you just, you wore a nice outfit. You want to save a picture of that outfit. How is that?
I mean, like I said, it's not that big of an issue, but it is a red flag.
Wow.
For
that's
me
interesting.
personally,
Okay,
we all have what we like
Yes,
and
it's
what we don't
personal.
like. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's interesting. What about you, David?
Yeah, I would say before I talk about everything, I would say we should rather use test, not trap, because a trap
Now we know.
a trap is intended for
Yeah,
negative.
exactly.
Yeah, so we are using test. Please. I would also say one of the red flags is a woman who is always on her phone. Always on her phone.
That ties,
It means
because you can be on your phone
Wow.
watching your pictures.
I feel so attacked.
always on your phone, then it means you will not concentrate on anything in the home. That's the first thing I would derive from you, always on your phone. Whenever I see you on your phone, you are not taking time to reflect on anything, you are not reading any
Wow.
book, you are not doing anything on your phone, then it's a red flag. But it can be managed. I can tell you, I can tell you, and you can limit it, and with time we'll be cool with each other. But if I tell you and it's like I'm glued to my phone, me and my phone, we are one. Peace.
You can go your own way. Wow. So we've talked about things that we can work around. When it comes to maybe in terms of how much a woman makes, right? Because there are a woman who would say that I cannot date a man who makes less than I do. So in the case where the woman makes more, right? Is that an issue for you, Fifi?
For me, it is not a problem at all. But I know people who always have to make more than the woman, because it's a way of having that that power or having that control. For me, it's not something that's a problem at all, right? Because when the money comes, it's for all of
both of
us.
us.
It's for all of us. If I make the money, it goes in the same bank account, same thing as my wife or whoever I'm dating, whatever it is. Well, obviously not in that way, but yeah, it shouldn't matter at all. It shouldn't matter.
What about you, Andy?
It shouldn't be a problem, but it depends on the lady.
Does it really?
Yeah, there are some ladies, as soon
I
as they know
agree.
they are making more than you, they want to be the head of the family. But if the lady is really humble, respectful, this shouldn't be even be a problem. If we both understand that whatever is coming to the house is for both of us, it shouldn't be a problem.
What about you, David?
Yeah, I think it shouldn't be a problem, but it depends on still the lady.
Why is it the
Yes,
lady?
because the lady, because the Bible says the man is the head, the lady is the help, and if the lady tries to show you that she's the head because I make more than you, which some people do, they can even tell you straight to your face, I make more than you. Yeah, so it's if she's humble enough, respectful, she's calm, and she'll flow with you as you are, fine. But if she wants to be better than you, I make more than you, this, that, then it's a big red flag. You need to run away for your life because it's better to eat your small food and be peaceful than to get something that people think you are living glamorously and be in pain and regret and be struggling inside.
Fifi, you mentioned something about men making more money gives them control. Can you talk more about what kind of control are you talking about in this case?
So when you make more, it means you can buy whatever you want. You can splurge. You can do those things. And also the women, once they make more than you, what happens is that when the bills come, they feel like you're going to them to support, even though you're the one that's supposed to provide, right? So if the woman is the one making all that money, then technically she is the one almost like she's providing and paying the bills for you, right? So it kind of lets go of that control that you have. Whoever a lot of the time is paying the bills, if both you guys don't have an understanding, whoever's paying the bills ends up being the one that kind of makes decisions of where the money goes, which one gets paid first, what is a priority, what is not. So that's why it's important that sometimes you have to make sure there's an understanding between you and your wife that, even though you may make more than I do, I still make the decisions with the money that comes in, or together.
Together.
Right?
Yeah, I like the together part. Yeah. Okay, so talking about, we all know that, women will say, I have a list, right? Things that you're looking for. So I want to ask you guys, what are some of the things, or do you have a list? Right? Or do men have a list the same way women do?
Women have lists, we have books.
Hey, okay, please elaborate.
So we have books. We have a lot of things we look out for, especially in this generation. So for me, the first thing I look out for is the God factor. If the person understands God, certain things become very easy for you, like being respectful, being helpful. These things become very easy for you. You understand? And the God factor, like I said earlier, it doesn't have to be the number of times you pray or the number of times you go to church, but how your lifestyle is. That will determine the God factor that is in you. So that is one thing that I look out for.
But we want the whole book, right? So give us the whole. Read out all the pages. we need to know.
But you know what I also know as a red flag related to that? If a lady is always at every church program.
Okay. Explain, please.
Because it means, let me put my foot down. Because it means that at some point she will rather go to a church program than be at home doing what she needs to do. That's what that tells me. It's not every single church program that you should be going to. That is something that I feel really strong about. Even though it's important to be at church, it's not every program that you should be rushing to when there's other important things that could also be be attended to. So that's something to also keep in mind.
That's when you're gonna get the church people angry at you.
But am I wrong?
I think he has a point.
Yeah, you
He has
do have a point
So as a woman or as a wife, you have to take care of your home first.
for sure.
So you cannot go to church whilst your home is not in
in-
order. Yeah, so he has a point.
And I would say there's a hierarchy or whatever that every marriage or every family needs to follow. For example, God first, and God first is not going to church. It's really your personal relationship with God as a woman or as a man. Then your family second. How you take care of your home. Your home, that's your first ministry. Then the third one will come to your church and whatever.
How
So
you feel about
and
this?
God is expecting you to have a very good relationship with Him personally, then build your home as a mother and be the head of your house as a father. Then you'll be able to do ministry or church activities. So when you mess them up, you are going to mess things up. So I would also buy into what Fifi is saying.
Okay.
If you really have a home to fix, maybe this time from let's say 7 to 9, and you tell me there's check activity 7 to 9, so you not fix what needs to be fixed in your home, you are going to church, then I think
That's a
you
problem.
have messed it up. Yes, it's a problem.
It's a red flag.
It's a red
It's
flag.
a red.
Yeah, that's a
We go to
red
church
card.
too
Red
much.
card. Cry.
So if
Yeah.
you are the dating state, if you are going to church every day of the week, you
It's
have
a
to-
problem.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Yes, I will run. I will run. Yeah. Yeah.
And if she doesn't go to church at all, too.
Yeah, that is
That's
also
a
a
red
problem.
flag.
That is a red
So we
flag.
have to find a balance.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any more from the books that you have? Any more, preferences? We want to hear them all.
in terms of the list or
yes.
the book.
You said you have books,
Yes.
right? Women have lists, but you said you have
We
books.
have books.
So we want to know, read out all the
So
pages in the books
we
for us.
came up with our books because we realized that you guys were killing us for the list. So when a
Really?
woman sees you, they want you to be everything. And that's one problem. We can't be everything.
But I think men also have the same thing.
Men don't have that issue. Men look for, if you are able to satisfy my stomach and respect me,
That's
it's
the,
okay for them.
Yeah.
The rest they build on.
But the looks are still there, because that's the first thing, that will.
The looks are nice, right? The
Yeah,
looks
so
are,
let's talk about the looks.
The,
too.
the
People
looks are
have their
the looks
own
are nice,
preferences.
but they are not the determining.
No.
Yeah, they are
Really?
not. You'll be very shocked.
Wow,
you
I'm
might see like, oh, that lady is so beautiful. She may not be the first one or the ones that gets chosen by the men because she may have really bad behavior, right? Or you may go to her house, all you do see is take out bowls. I mean, that's a bad sign. That is a bad sign. That's all you. I mean, that's a clear sign that
That's
she does
true.
not cook
She
at
doesn't
home.
cook. It's always
Right?
DoorDash.
Not ready for the house.
Yes. Right. So
Wow.
anyway,
So the looks are not as important as women think they are.
No, character over beauty.
Interesting.
yes.
Purpose over beauty.
Yeah.
So women are just, we're just putting too much stress
on
because someone
themselves.
they go through, a whole lot just trying to, make their
Mhm.
because that's the first thing that you guys see, right? Is the looks.
Mhm.
So saying that the looks do not count as much, I kind of beg to differ a little bit because that's the first thing you see.
Mhm.
So let me explain this part. It is something that attracts you to a lady, right? So your looks have attracted me to you. Now convince me you are a wife material.
Mhm.
Do you understand? So your beauty can attract me to you, but because of your character, I'll run away.
For your life.
Do you understand
I
that?
get your point.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So looks over. People say, well,
Character over beauty.
over beauty. Okay. Okay. What other things we want to dive deeper into it so that our ladies will know?
Oh, I would say something about purpose. Purpose driven. Men are purposeful and needs a woman who will submit or support their purpose. So it's not just about the looks. I'm thinking of where I'm going and who can help me,
Exactly.
who can support me. So women should build themselves up too. in their faith in God and profession and talents and everything so that you can support your husband. So if you can't support me, I'm not coming for you, no matter how beautiful or whatever you may look at. Because that's what God gave me. God gave me a purpose. God gave me a destiny to fulfill. And that's what I'm looking at. And that's what I'm dying to fulfill. So if you can't help me, then I'll not be with you. So your looks will attract me to you, but you not being able to support me with purpose and destiny I will run away for my life because I can't be in a mess.
There's a lot of running away for our lives.
Yes.
It's true. If you don't run away, you regret later. So it's better you run than to regret. Do you understand?
Okay, talking about support, what kind of support are you looking for in terms of, trying to achieve your goal or your vision? Like, what do you need from the woman to be able to do or to be able to show that, okay, like this is the person and this is how they're able to support me? What are some of the things that you're looking for?
Oh, okay. For example, I'm just taking one side of it. Let's say, for example, is my aim or my purpose to be a minister of God, yes, for example. So I'll be looking at a woman who can support me prayerfully, who can advise me, give me scriptures, a woman who can freely be friend with church people, a woman who is not jealous and say my husband is talking to this lady, so I have it's like a woman who is not going to cause confusion. All these things I'm looking at, it's not just about the beauty or the makeups, but I'm looking at a holistic, a whole package, a woman who can support me, who can represent me on the pulpit too. So the woman is not a woman who can cook. Visitors will come home, you'd have to cook for them.
Very necessary.
Very
Very necessary. So a woman who can keep the house, a woman who can take care of their children so that the children are not messed up. All these things I'm looking at, not just your beauty. So this is one. And let me go to another side. Let's say I'm someone who is interested in music and drama. I'm looking at a woman who can write a script, a woman who can support me with something, a woman who has an idea about what God has given to me to do. Not just a woman who will dress and sit behind the mirror and be laughing and cherishing herself because I look beautiful. No.
Yes, David, say that again.
These attacks, okay.
We are giving you secret. We are opening secret doors for you guys. It's not an attack.
Really? Because, the looks, and I mean, it's all good, but I think there's always an extreme, right? A woman who it's all about the superficial stuff, the looks, the dresses. So I get it. So in terms of support, what are some of the things that you're looking for and do?
So Bible says that how can the two work together except they have a common goal? So when you meet somebody, the first thing you guys should know is where are you heading towards? In the next 5 years, where do you see yourself? In that conversation, you should know if the person will be a supportive wife or if the person will support your dreams. If both of you have like different visions, you guys don't even have to be together. And that is why we have most people, they will say, oh, my husband is not supporting me in this area because he has no interest there. So when we talk about support, it's not about finance. Sometimes it's about ideas. Let's say I want to do a business. I want to enter into a business. I expect my wife to encourage me, help me with it. Oh, so how do we go about it? How do we start it? Let's say I tell my wife, I want to start a business. This is how I want to go about it. And then for the past 2 months, you haven't even asked me about the business. It means you are not interested.
Yeah.
It's a problem. So it's not about finance. It's about ideas, the prayers. You understand? You should be somebody that I should be able to come to for advice. You are my helper in every aspect. Do you understand?
Okay.
So these are some of the things.
Yes.
Okay. You want to add to it, Fifi?
Yeah, and I can give example of this. Before even my wife and I got married, whenever I would preach, whenever I'd be put on the schedule to preach, sometimes I'll be traveling, be in Florida, different places. So I wouldn't have the time to even sit down to prepare. But before, sometimes I'll tell her, oh, I'm on program to preach in 3 weeks. This is the topic that they want me to cover. Sometimes I'll get home and then she sent me some skeleton, different things that I need to cover. So that's the type of help that we are talking about.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. Well, before we wrap up, I just want to bring this in. So, in terms of when you're dating somebody or in a relationship with somebody, how much is too much in terms of investing? Do you think that people should invest financially? Because it happens, right? Oh, this is my, the person I'm dating or the person I'm courting, right? And they want to help them. Do you think it's a good idea to invest financially when you're in a relationship?
To me, I don't think it's a good idea. If you want to support her in a way, that's fine. But people go all the way to the extent of paying of rent and other
Because they
stuff.
think, oh, this is my husband to be. This is
They
my
are
wife
not
to
your
be.
husband yet. Do you understand? Maybe you've met them, you are just in the
You
talking
can change
stage.
your mind. Yeah,
They can change their mind at any time. Anything can happen.
your money's gone. Yep.
Right? So
Okay.
until you guys get together and marry, I don't think you should be investing a lot of money into it. It's good that once in a while you would buy her something, take her out. But
Okay.
investing a lot of money in her,
It's,
I don't think so. It's a good idea.
so if the woman demands that, then it's a red flag.
If they demand, that's a big red flag.
Run away for your life.
In that stage, it moved from a flag to a curtain.
Wow.
Yeah, but we shouldn't also not say that the man should also be willing to pay for certain things, right? If he's not willing to pay the bill when you go out, that's
That's also a
that's I'm
problem,
sure the
yeah.
ladies have probably
Of
covered
course.
that.
Yeah.
So you should also keep that in mind as a guy. If you're going to decide to court, you should be willing to at least pay those little things. Buy her flowers, some chocolate, those
Yes,
things.
yeah.
Those things are also
are nice.
a
Gifts are
requirement.
nice,
Yes.
I have a question for the ladies.
Okay.
Why do they always expect the men to invest and not them?
Well, obviously, you can see that we are overpowered right now. So maybe we can leave this question for another episode. But thank you guys for coming on. Yeah, it was a great conversation. We'll definitely have a part 2 where we'll invite all the ladies so we can discuss your question on the next episode. Well, that's all for today. Make sure you subscribe, you share, and also you like, and put the comments in the comment section below. We will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.